Hi, I'm Corey Moss with Rave Publications. I'm here with Michael Frendo, EVP of Engineering for Polycom. How are you, Michael?
I'm good, thanks.
Good, good. Okay, so we're here to talk about Polycom and your solutions and what you're showing here at Enterprise Connect. So why don't you tell me first about Polycom and what's happening there now?
Well, Polycom is in the collaboration business. We build video and audio products and content sharing products that allow, what we say is we allow people to defy distance, which really means that we can bring people together in a more visual way across distances and bring multiple people into conferences, provide a really high-end quality video and audio experience. We're told audio is one of the most important things in any conference, and clearly we built a company initially an audio product, and now we also have very, very good quality video to go with that and content sharing.
Okay, so let's talk about your real present solution. Okay, the work group, or the group series, and give me an idea what that's all about.
Okay, Real Presence Group Series is actually a series of in-room products that can support both content as well as video and high-quality audio. We build a structured sound system so that you get a very high-quality audio experience across the experience. We also have technology that sits inside the network that allows you to bring many endpoints together and create an experience that have hundreds of users or hundreds of people connected simultaneously. Group Series actually spans a number of products. We have a smaller room product that's a 300, sort of mid-sized product that's a 500, and the 700, which is kind of our premium higher-end room system that allows you to have more screens and essentially really provide a service that's capable in a larger room.
Okay. With all the other video conferencing collaboration solutions out there, where do you think Polycom rates, and how does Polycom differ from other solutions that are out there now?
Well, I think Polycom, from the first perspective, I think we have a very high-quality product in terms of the quality of video and audio. I think we also have a very broad range of products, which I think is important, and that is we certainly have in-room systems. We go all the way from immersive telepresence, which is the really high-end system, with the 80-inch screens and 4K capability, that sort of very life-size type system, all the way down to products that run on your phone or your tablet and provide a similar experience. And the nice thing is they all work together. So you can be in a conference call that includes an immersive telepresence room, some of the group series rooms have different sizes, as well as people joining the call from their iPhone or their Android phone or their tablet or their PC or their Mac. And so having that broader capability, I think, is very important, and it's a key aspect of what we provide as a company. But I think the other aspect of it is we very much want to integrate. We integrate with other products out there because I think pervasiveness is important in video conferencing, and the ability to interwork or integrate very well with, say, Microsoft Lync, for example, is a very important aspect of our products. We integrate fairly seamlessly with Lync, so you can be on a Lync endpoint or in a Polycom room system and really have an experience that's equivalent on both sides in terms of providing the Lync experience, providing the room experience, sharing content seamlessly across those two. We also, interoperate with pretty much everybody that's out there, whether it's Cisco endpoints or life-size or all of the others, so that regardless of how you want to join the conference, we really want to provide a capability that everybody can participate.
Right. So let me ask a question. Polycom, I've known the company for a long time. Going from a hardware-based company now to the cloud, what has the transition been like, and where do you basically see today in terms of that transition and where Polycom stands in the market?
Well, I think first you have to take a step back. I mean, is Polycom becoming a software company? And the answer is no, we're not becoming a software company. We are a systems company, and part of being a systems company is delivering software, and clearly software is integrated into all of our products. But it's also, taking advantage of the new capabilities that are out there, like the cloud. So we take our Polycom Real Presence One platform, which includes our MCU technology and our ability to do conference management, and that all runs in the cloud. It all runs on virtual machines. We can run it in several different kinds of virtual machines, and people can bring this up, in a cloud environment, on a third-party cloud or private cloud. I mean, really, the choice is up to our customers. And so, moving technology into a cloud environment allows us to, I think, distribute it more easily around the world, scale it more, because you can scale as the cloud scales. You can bring up more VMs if you need more capacity, for example. And so we really look at it as taking advantage of the cloud to do things that weren't really possible before. The other thing we're bringing to the cloud that we think is quite important is better management of our products, better ability to keep track of conferences and do analytics and do things in the cloud that really weren't possible before, because we can provide this technology more easily to our customers from a cloud-based mechanism.
Okay. So speaking directly to the enterprise at this point, where do you see the advantages to Polycom in the enterprise specifically right now?
I think, as I said, I think there's a couple places that we differentiate. One is our ability to interoperate or integrate very well across the board, whether it's with standards-based solutions or de facto standards, if you want to sort of phrase it that way. It's our ability to provide a consistent experience across a broad range of products, whether it's, like I said, anything from your iPhone and your Android phone all the way up to immersive telepresence capabilities. Those are two advantages. We also bring, I think, some very unique technology to the table. We have, for example, a product we just introduced called the Eagle Eye Producer, that really plays on the paradigm that the best user interface is no user interface. Right? When you're in a room and it's a large room and you may have 2 people in that room, it's nice to have a technology that can find those 2 people, zoom in the camera on those 2 people, and just frame those 2 people in the room. Eagle Eye Producer does that. You don't have to pick up a remote or try to zoom it in and get it just right. And if you get up and move around the room, the system knows you're moving around and it'll reframe the picture. If 5 more people come into the room, it'll reframe. Right. So that's one aspect of it. We also have, I think, some audio innovation that's quite unique. We have a product called the Acoustic Fence, which allows you to sit in a room, not unlike this room, where there's a lot of people around, and actually block out all of the sound outside of a particular area, so that if you're at the other end of the video conference, you're not picking up all the background noise, but just picking up the sound of the people who are speaking in the conference. Right. So those are good examples of where I think, from a video and audio perspective, we really take this to a different level from an innovation perspective. Good.
You mentioned mobile devices, okay, and most solutions nowadays are mobile device driven. So tell me about Polycom's solution, how mobile devices fit into it as well.
Well, I think mobile devices are important because people really want to be able to work from anywhere. While it's true that the conference rooms continue to be places where a lot of work happens, and certainly for most companies I know, the conference rooms are always overbooked, so it's not like conference rooms are out of fashion.
Right.
But not everybody in the meeting is going to be in the conference room. Some people might be working from home, others might be working from from a cafe. Some people might be on the road, and those folks should be able to join that conference and take part in that collaborative session regardless of where they are. And I think the mobile products for us are important because they allow the collaborative session to reach out to people regardless of where they are, regardless of where the workplace happens to be, regardless of the time of day or etc. I think that aspect of it is really quite important, and that's how why we think the mobile technology that we develop is so important.
So you talk mobility, BYOD especially. BYOD growing in presence in the enterprise space especially. So talking to that, it certainly is measurable when you can handle devices and people who are carrying devices outside the company, inside the company, what have you.
Correct. So one of the things that you'll see is that we're working towards a user interface and user experience that's consistent across all of those devices. So whether you're working on your iPad or your Galaxy Tab, or working on your phone, or working on your PC or your Mac, you'll have a common user interface, a common user experience, common way of being in the meeting, a common way of managing the meeting.
Right.
You have the same, exactly the same, buttons to push, where you have to push buttons, and that you can actually, if it is a BYOD experience, that if you walk into a room where the conference is happening, you still have the ability to take your device that you have and share content from it, share it into the room, share it into the conference, and content becomes also something that's pervasive, that should be able to work in the room, work on the PC, work on your phone, or whatever other device you happen to bring to the table. And so that aspect of it, the aspect of content, video, and audio being consistent and being able to share it, and it allows people to be more mobile and bring their own devices into a meeting and make them relevant in the meeting, I think is another aspect of what we do.
Sure. Okay, so a few things. One thing, I received something, despite boosting productivity and teamwork, survey finds organizations still challenged to realize full potential of video collaboration. Can you expand on that?
Certainly. When we look at our customers, and it's not really based on any particular industry, it's really based on individual companies. There are places where we see a tremendous amount of adoption, where conference rooms are being used, video conferencing is being used, all day, every day, and other places where it's not as ingrained in the culture. So part of it's cultural, but part of it is also having the technology reach critical mass, right? If you want to use video technology, so for example, like give Polycom, and Polycom is probably not a good example of all industry out there, but every conference room and every office in Polycom is equipped with video in one way or another.
Right.
And I think that encourages the use. So I spend half of every day on video conferences. Part of that is comes down to equipping all the rooms with video. Another way to do that, though, is also just to be able to equip devices with video. And so places where we have a lot of rooms, but also a lot of mobile clients, those tend to be the places where we see adoption much higher, and that requires it requires folks within the companies to have a bit of a vision of how they want things to be, and
right.
So we see a lot of variation, right? We see companies where there's true leadership, where they really see the value in the technology, they deploy it widely, and it tends to get used widely, and we see companies where that's not the case. And interestingly enough, it's often based on a leader in the company because when we see somebody who's very ingrained in the video culture move from one company to another, interestingly enough, that next company also becomes pretty ingrained in video conferencing. The other thing that's important is providing a set of analytics and capabilities so that people actually know how much their video conferencing is being used, because if they install it and it's being used heavily but they don't know, they don't tend to see the value in it and want to make it more pervasive.
Right.
But if you're measuring it and you're seeing that conference rooms are being used more and more, then you're more likely to add more, and this is one of those things that sort of snowballs, right? Mm-hmm. As it becomes more part of the culture, it actually gets used more and more. So I think that you see a wide spectrum of use out there, from companies where the rooms are 80% used to companies where rooms tend to be 10 or 20% used, and the big part of it is just how far along they are in the process of really adopting it as part of culturally how they work.
Okay, good. Next, industry-first audio and visual innovations from Polycom, advanced collaboration, and usher in the workplace of the future today.
Yeah. So I talked a little bit about Eagle Eye Producer. That's an example of a product that we just recently brought to market that, as I said, by essentially recognizing faces in the room, it adjusts the camera or moves the camera around, zooms in, and frames the picture. That's actually a second generation of a product that we built called Eagle Eye Director. Mm-hmm. Eagle Eye Director uses an acoustic technology and camera technology to zoom in on the person who's speaking. Now, the big innovation with Eagle Eye Producer is that we use facial recognition in order to find folks, but the other big innovation in it is it's about 15% of the cost. So we've also made it a far more accessible technology, and I think that's pretty important. Mm-hmm. The other places we've innovated significantly recently is in the whole space of audio. Right? We've added this acoustic fence capability. We've also added something we call noise block, so we can recognize when somebody is speaking. And if they're if you have a lot of people on audio conference, some people from home, or some people in a noisy environment, we can recognize when someone's speaking and only turn their microphone on when they're speaking. Mm-hmm. That's a product we call noise block, so that instead of this constant, you're muted, or please mute your phones, or mute your conference, the thing mutes automatically, and when you speak, it unmutes so that you're only hearing the background noise, if there is any, when the person's speaking. Mm-hmm. And that has actually, on all of our endpoints, that capability is on our soft endpoints as well as our hard endpoints. Mm-hmm. It goes across the board. Okay. All of these things are, follow the paradigm that we like to say that the best user interface is no user interface. Things should just automatically happen. And we have other innovations along those lines that will be coming to market as well.
Good. Last, Polycom goes further to address workplace of the future.
So workplaces, we give some hints of this at our Polycom event recently. We're really looking at the 95% of rooms and the other places that people work from. So when we look at video conferencing and content collaboration, it's only in about 5% of the rooms. And one of the reasons we believe that's the case is because the current environment, the current setup is very much a lecture presentation type setup. You have a couple screens at the end of the room, and that's that works for about 5% of the rooms. It seems because 5% of the rooms is how many rooms actually have it. We think the other 95% need to be addressed, but that the technology to address them is different than the technology we're deploying in those 5% of the rooms today. Mm-hmm. We're not giving too much detail on what that is because there's a bit of under the covers work going on here, but we want to address the in-room experience in a way that hasn't been addressed before. So that's certainly part of it. We're also going to continue down this path of bringing innovation that make the user interface simpler or essentially unnecessary. Right? We will continue to evolve our Eagle Eye Producer product to do more than just recognize where the faces are in the room. You can imagine if you can find faces in the room, you could do more things with them. You could gather analytics, for example, on how many people are in a room, who's in the room, when do people come and leave meetings. We also are looking at continuing to evolve our technology for recording meetings, recording the content and the people, and making it easier for people to record the meeting, store the meeting, analyze the meeting. We have a partner, for example, that once the meeting recording is done, they can create a script of everything that happened in the meeting and make it searchable. So if you want to go into a meeting, rather than going through a 1-hour meeting that you have video of, you say, well, I want to know every time somebody mentioned the word Polycom collaboration, right? And it'll find all the places in the script that happened, for example. So these are all technology. That technology is actually available today, but these are all ways that we think we can make the meeting experience far more relevant.
Okay. One more thing for everybody out there watching. Where should they go to find out more?
Polycom.com.
Pretty simple. All right, Michael, thank you very much for spending time with me. I really appreciate it. And everybody, go see Polycom's new solutions that they're showing here at Enterprise Connect, as well as anything else you'd like to look for on the company. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.